To Stephen Gostkowski's missing kicks point, is it like the Denver Stadium? Like, do kickers or punters, do they get uncomfortable in stadiums? Because in 2015 AFC Championship, he also missed a few very important kicks.
How's the poll look right now? How's the poll look?
It ain't looking good. 64% yes, 36% no. Kickers do stink forever.
Okay, so I got some stats from a stat guy.
Okay.
Okay, here's some interesting stats about opening week NFL kicking. In 2011, there was 9 missed field goals, 0 missed extra points. I believe that was probably when the extra point was still 20 yards. 2012, 5 missed field goals, 1 missed extra point. 2013, 5 missed field goals, 0 missed extra points. 14, 9, 15, 11. 2016, 12 missed field goals, 4 missed extra points. 2017, 7 missed field goals, 4 missed extra points. 2018, 11 missed field goals, 1 missed extra point. 2019, 9 missed field goals, 2 missed extra points. 2020, 19 missed field goals, 5 missed extra points.
Jesus.
That is a lot of misses. Hey, that's not good. And Stephen Gostkowski, their misses are coming from guys that are like good. Like, for instance, Boswell last night. I mean, he kicked one off out of bounds. He's very good. I would assume that some guys, though, for instance, there's some players that are linebackers that need to get the first hit in. Like, hey, I need to hit somebody. I need to hit somebody. There's some people that need to get, like, their first shot up in basketball. I would assume that is something that happens. Golf, just want to get the first shot. I assume that there are some kickers that do have a little bit of jitters that they have to work out with it being the first thing that actually means something. Plus, we're in a world where there's no crowd. It's a very weird. I hope that by next week we have nowhere near those numbers because that's bad. But there's a guy out there named Taylor Russolino who needs to get hired. I don't think that guy's missed 19 kicks in the last 5 years. But yeah, 19 missed kicks, 5 missed extra points. Worst week 1 in at least potentially NFL history at this point.
No fans affecting kickers more than any other position?
It does feel like COVID is potentially affecting kickers more so than any other position in NFL. What's that?
I saw some of the stadiums had, and I don't know if this is for TV, but they had fans behind they had fake fans with cardboard cutouts behind the field goal post. And is that because of the kicker? Because the kicker's used to looking at fans behind the
No, listen. This is all just, this is just mental toughness. That's all. It's potentially getting, like I talked about, the jitters out. Like, hey, this means something. There's something on the line here. There's a lot of people watching. Like, I think the first game you are kind of feeling it out. But whenever veteran guys are missing, like last night, Gostkowski missing, that was when I just like threw in it. I was like, I have no idea what it is. Like, if Gostkowski's missing kicks like this, I have no idea. I don't even have an answer anymore. I have no idea. But you're going into a lot of stadiums, and at the end of games, potentially, whenever you're up a lot or down a lot, you're kicking towards an empty fucking background.
Yeah.
And whenever you're in practice, you're kicking towards an empty background. So a lot of people are trying to compare it to a shooter, like with the backdrop on a basketball court. Like, I don't think that's, as long as there's something to aim at, that's all guys are doing. So I have no idea what it is. I honestly, I would assume preseason, a lack of preseason is potentially affecting it. I would assume that maybe the lack of fans and the whole thing, like maybe being able to be like, hey, this is real, but I have no idea what it is. It is not a good time to be a kicker punter apologist on the internet, though, and that's what I am. It was a tough week 1, let alone the punter from Citadel that happened this weekend. I mean, it's been
that was the worst of all time.
I will say this: you are about to see the biggest bounce back in the history of kicking. Week 2, college and NFL kickers and punters are about to have the best weekend you've ever seen in your entire life when it comes to kicking things. That first week, they had to get adjusted to it. They had no idea. They were like, hey, it's a whole new environment. They only miss a little bit. Maybe a little bit's off. Maybe a hold's bad. Maybe a snap isn't great. Maybe there's a lot going on that we haven't really accounted for other than just burying the kickers and the punters. But week 2, it is about to be a flawless weekend. I have never seen somebody kick the ball as good as all these kickers and punters have kicked the ball this upcoming weekend. It's going to be insane to watch. I fucking hope.
With a guy like Gostkowski, like, do you think that they'll keep him? And does his name have enough cachet where it's like, hey, we'll give you another week. We think this might have just been a fluke.
Kicking is what have you done for me lately. That's the business. They'll cut you from your own team if you have a couple bad days. That's why everybody's like, oh, kicking's the easiest job in the world. It's like, okay, go out there and miss a couple kicks. Guess what you don't have? Oh, a job.
I got to know, are you going to save the day for the kickers and strap up the old cannon and come in and maybe, come out of retirement?
I don't know my body fat percentage right now, but I'm probably 17 to 20 days away from being able to get back in the NFL.
It's not too far away. I mean, week 4, they could use you.
That's not too bad. I haven't kicked a field goal, though, since last year whenever I thought about potentially getting back into the league, allegedly, to the Bears. I don't know, because the last thing I would want to do, because I'm able to talk about them not doing great. If I was to go out there and just fucking spray that thing all over the place, it'd be very difficult. I mean, I retired after making a Pro Bowl. There's always the thought like, oh, I could go back if I wanted to. If I was to go back and do something that I'm not prepared to do, which would probably take a few months to get back in there, and I suck, like the allure of all of that is gone, you know? It's like I come walking back into the studio like, well, here's the next 30 fucking years because I can't do anything else. You know what I mean? Like that is a real thing. But the kickers are bad right now, AJ. It's bad. I've never seen it like this.
It's mental, right? It's a mental thing going on. What is it?
Well, it's not just misses too. They're bad balls. And Ninja's getting back in the game. And listen, Ninja and I had a little bit of an interaction, obviously, a year ago when he said this about how many things are in the play. Because if it would be like a Fortnite player having to snipe somebody in the forehead every single time for it to only be a way to kill somebody. Because that's what kicking a football is. You got to hit it like with this much. The ball is moving. There's a snap, and you got to watch the snap and the hold. And obviously, there's people running at you and millions of people watching and money on the line. There's a lot going on. But this year, I understand what he's saying. The kickers have been next level bad, and I don't like it, AJ. I don't like it, not one bit. Not one bit.
I don't like seeing the missed extra points because then I feel like you open up for, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. Like, especially if a team's dominating, they miss 2 extra points, and you feel like, all right, well, even though this team is probably a lot better than the team they're playing, the other team can hang around and have a chance to win.
My freshman year at West Virginia, I had a massive leg. I just had no idea where I was going. Kind of throughout my entire college career there. My freshman year, though, I had a pretty good start. I think I missed like a 47-yarder on the right hash against Syracuse against ABC opening weekend. We're the game of the day or whatever at noon kickoff on ABC. I missed like a 48-yarder going into the half, maybe 47-yarder on the right hash. And I go into the locker room, and I got a lot of people like, hey, you'll be okay, or whatever. And I'm like so mad that I missed because in high school I never missed. Right? I never ever missed in high school. Because the uprights in high school are the size of a building. It is, if you miss in high school, you really had to try to miss or whatever. It wasn't until a couple weeks later I missed an extra point. I pushed it right, and a senior offensive lineman turned around. He was jogging off the field, right? He just, guy tried to kill him. They just walked down the field or whatever and scored. Fourth quarter, dude is dead, obviously tired, and he just got ran over basically as I'm kicking. And he would block, and I would kick, and then he would just jog off field. Didn't even give me like a dap up or anything, just like classic old school meathead offensive lineman or whatever. He's jogging off the field, and he didn't know that I'd missed, and they announced kick is no good or whatever, and he stopped in the middle of the field, and he turned and looked at me, and he said, you don't miss fucking extra points, you hear me? And I was like, I didn't try. You got it. And then he just jogged off. And it was always just like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. All the work you put in going down that field, everything that guy had to go through. He's probably had a broken finger at that point. He's bleeding all over the place. And then the extra point you just miss, it's just like, I'll never forget. It was stopped in the middle of the field and just looked at me and said, you don't miss Buccaneer. And I was like, yeah. Yep, no, I don't.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I did, again. And I just, whenever I saw it not go in, I just kind of just went right back. I was like, I'm going to get away from that guy. So
what did he say the second time? Did he
no,
remind you?
I left.
Oh, okay.
I am gone. Now, listen, I didn't want to miss, but I also didn't want to catch that again. So we made one mistake already. Let's not make it 2, pal. Let's go ahead and get better. But, yeah, you're 100% right. The extra point thing, especially with the history of football, that was just like a gimme there for a while for most NFL guys, almost all guys. Now it's like, well, team could win this game if they just hit an extra point here. It's like 33-yard ball is all of a sudden very, very, very important.